All right. Hello, Facebook land. Welcome to ROI Live in 5. We've been doing this every week, and now we've got it on my personal Facebook every week too. Hey, really quickly, I've got Steve Soprani with me today. And
Hey,
if you
hey.
were tuning in last week, I had Kayla Slice, and she gave us a very simple script that could help with potentially angry customers and or customers that where things were going a little sideways. How about we say that? And we had such a huge, great response that we felt like, okay, that was like this simple, wonderful thing that could have a really great ROI, right? Keeping customers that you currently have instead of having to go get new ones, there's a big ROI there. So we knew that everybody loved it, had lots of comments on it. So we thought, why not do something similar? Because Steve is actually a guide for exactly what to say with Phil Jones. So if you have a desire to have somebody come and speak to your office about that and script with, your team, it can be small businesses, real estate, whatever you want. Steve is available to do that. So we'd love to talk to you about that. But apart from that, he had some really simple scripts too that really can increase your ROI in conversions. And so we thought we would bring that angle today. So Steve, maybe you could explain what we're going to talk about a little bit more, and then we'll run the script. And obviously, like always, there will be something in the comments from Linda, and there'll be an email that goes out that you can download that has all those scripts written on it so that you can practice it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks, Linz. And before we even hop into this, I would say this will certainly work with sales. So if you're a salesperson listening to this, this is really valuable. But this could work for any professional, in my opinion. I'm really passionate about this work that Phil does. And what I want you to imagine if you're listening, just imagine you asked three more questions and you converted 20 to 50% more of your leads.
Yeah.
What could that do for your commissions, your business? And it's really as simple as one of the things you first told me when I got into this business was, whoever's doing the talking is doing the bonding. And that's definitely true. Exactly what to say says that a little bit differently. They say whoever is asking the questions controls the conversation. And, we do know that questions lead to conversations and conversations build relationships and relationships create opportunities for people. People do business with people they like, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I've always loved, and I've really just thought a lot about this simple premise of, you want to create certainty for your client. You want to create certainty for yourself. And the way that you go about doing that is you ask powerful questions, you create context, and you build a relationship through actually coming to an understanding of really using the power of questions. So it really is as simple as listening more. I think one of the things that we do and exactly what to say that I really love is I've seen it before that there's a time tracker of how much am I talking versus how much are you talking. And it's a really simple principle that your client should be doing the majority of the talking. So if
Yeah.
that's 50%, that's 50-50. Most of us in sales, what do we do? Let me tell you why I'm so great. And people actually don't care, right?
Yeah.
We work with people to solve a problem for the most part in business, right? So I
Yeah.
would say a better rule of thumb, if you want to increase your conversion rate by two times, three times, et cetera, let your client do 70% of the talking. Ask them, and really get to the motivation. People are often emotional when they're buying things, and we try to solve the problem logically, but people usually buy things emotionally, and we have to tap into that. And the way that we do it is by first asking powerful questions.
Yeah, so we're talking about the three, right? And or what sometimes people will say going three deep on questions, I think.
Yeah.
And so, and by the way, guys, this can work for any small business or really any business. Sorry, any business where you have a sales team, or somebody working sales. So if you're the owner, tag you're it. And it really is, there's a huge ROI here. So if you just learn this and practice it. By the way, if you're somebody who is in business for yourself and you are like, gosh, it would be really great to have a script partner, like reach out to us. We can arrange
Yeah.
that. So there's lots of people that want a script every day. So, all right, Steve, tell us, give us a scenario or how do we go about showing them how this works?
Yeah, and I think the nice thing about these, Lindsay, is that you can really fill in the blank with a lot of them. There's a little bit more to it
Yeah.
than what I'm going to just, but if you're just getting started or you're like, "Ooh, what is he talking about?" I want to
Mhm.
just give you some examples and actually illustrate some examples of how I use them in a discovery call. But, a really simple one is, what do you understand about X?
Yeah.
What is
So
your experience with X? How important is it? Could it be possible? This one I love. I ask all the time. Again, getting that feeling. How would you feel if X, Y, Z? So, how would you feel if we found this hire for you in the next 5 weeks? Like people come to us when they're in a lot of pain. They would feel great because they're doing a lot of that work, right? So, like, those are just some examples. But again, fill in the blank of whatever service you're doing. If you're in real estate, how would you feel if I could sell your home in the next 30 days, right?
yeah. Yeah.
How would you
And
feel if I could make your property look the way you really are dreaming of it looking, right? If you're in,
yeah.
let's say, landscaping. So, a couple examples there for you. Sorry, go ahead.
No, well, so let's take Soprano Consulting because I think it's, easier if we look at it. So we hire and train people for a living, right? And do some business consulting as well. And so if we say, gosh, I don't know, let's do a scenario. Say this is one that we've been hearing a ton. Say we've got somebody who's coming to us and I'll be the client. And I'm unsure if I have the right person, the right admin in the seat at the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking maybe I need to hire, or maybe I need to get some consulting for that person. Maybe they're the right person, and I just am not a good enough leader to lead them and help them be better.
Sure.
So can we kind of script that so people can see what it would look like a little bit?
Absolutely. So that basically the person is in the seat, but you're not really sure they're the right fit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So, okay, Steve, thanks so much for taking my call today. Here's the thing. I have a admin at the moment, and she's been really great up until this point. I'm starting to think like, okay, do I, need to move on from her? And she got me to this place, and now that we're building and adding more people, like I need somebody new. Or do I need to invest in her? Like I know you guys do business consulting and help put systems and
Yeah.
processes in place. So I thought I'd come to you and just talk through that and figure out, what my next steps are.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Lindsay. I really appreciate that. Would you mind if I just ask some clarifying questions? I want to make sure I give you the right kind of advice today, if I could.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
So her name's Anne. Is that right?
Yep.
Anne. Um, and how long has she been in the position?
So Anne's been here for 2 years.
Okay. And how certain are you that she might not be the right fit?
I'm not because I mean I'm thinking maybe that that's the case, but I'm not positive because I'm questioning whether or not it's me.
Yeah, okay. And maybe just like on a scale of 1 to 10, if one were like, get her out of here yesterday, and 10 were, it's probably me and I have to do some more building, what would you say? One, not the right fit, 10, okay, maybe I have some work to do here. What are your thoughts there?
Um, yeah, see, part of me thinks I'm in the middle there. I'll put it as 6, right? That I'm gonna put some blame on me. I don't know that I've like really helped her grow to the next level.
Okay, fair enough. When was the last time you had a sit down meeting with her? Have you ever done a performance review? Have you ever done anything to give her feedback about her performance? When was the last time that happened?
I have not. We have meetings regularly, but I haven't done a formal like, hey, this is where I could see you improve.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's a good insight right there. Um, how would you feel if you did part ways with her? Okay, so let's say maybe it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
Um, how would you feel if you had to make that decision?
I would feel really badly. I do like her. I think she's worked really hard. So if there's a way to invest in her and kind of do better together, I think that's probably a good thing.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And I mean, how important is it to you and your business that she would get this done?
Yeah, I mean, we want to grow, right? And we have grown since having added her. Now we have another agent on the team, and so we want to continue that growth. It's very important, right? It's like the most important thing.
Okay. Okay. Um, what would it look like? to get clarity for you around this?
It would be huge, right? Because then I would, I would not be stuck in this limbo of like right person or, not. And then I think I would know, I'd be clear on my leadership skills too. Like, where do I need to brush up and do better?
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Great.
And we could keep going for this for a
No,
while.
we're
The
good.
next question I would so like hopefully you got the point of this. How much
Mm.
talking did I actually do in that?
Not
Did
as much. Now, I'm of course a high D too and responding with not very much context. There are lots of people that will talk a lot more there. But walk us through like I know you started with the questions and like where did you really, how does somebody do this and get good at it? That's what I'm really
yeah,
yeah.
I would say number one, and this is kind of
Yeah.
the first pillar of this, if you are not asking with curiosity, you are
Yeah.
not going to succeed. So if I'm only just trying to get you to where I want you to go, that's the
Yeah.
wrong move.
Okay.
So a lot of it is about exploring this, opening up the space. I'm not here to give you the answer. So this is kind of similar to coaching, I think, for people that know that. There's some, we have to kind of unearth things. Usually, and we know this in business, the problem that we think we have isn't actually the real problem. There's
Yeah.
something underneath, right? And so I think that's the beauty of this approach that when you're doing a discovery, you're helping the person to make it clear for them. And who wouldn't want to do business with someone like that because we're guiding them, right? And that's I think
Yeah.
the nature of this relationship. So I would say step one, I would say just ask three more questions. That's as simple as it could be, right? And so if you're really used to, I'm going to give you my elevator pitch on why I'm so great and how you're really going to miss out, stop making it about you and start being curious about the person that you're talking to. I think that's
Yeah.
the biggest thing. The other one that I always loved is once you feel certain and once you think you have the context, I would say from this just short little practice that you and I did, I don't have the context. One of the things that came out was, hey, I might have some DNA in that. And so that we could come back to that. But I would say, even if you feel like you have certainty, ask three more questions. That's one of my favorite things Phil says. And I really do believe in that because now we're kind of having a different kind of conversation. So those would be a
Yeah.
couple.
Awesome. And I'll just leave you guys with this too, because we've gone over here, but it's okay to stop and think about your next question. You saw Steve do that. Like he didn't just immediately keep talking, right? And whatever, he was asking me a question. And I like this scenario for us because here's the thing. In our business, the faster money for like our sales team or whatever would be to recruit. Like, yep, you got the wrong person. Like, let's go do that. The bigger dollar amount right off the bat, right? The consulting would be a slow burn for us and slow
Yeah.
money. Still really great, but just different. So it could be really easy for a sales team to just go in that direction. That's why I also like this, because if you can teach this to your sales team, that it's not always about the dollar. It's about helping them. And when you come from a place of value and you come from a place of helping, which is what all of, Phil Jones and exactly what to say is about, in my opinion here. They probably would say it better, but when it's coming from a place of value and really caring about the answers and asking more questions, that's when people feel like they can trust you and you're cared about. And that's really important. So
Yeah.
anyways, really appreciate the time. Is there anything else we want to leave them with other than they can schedule you, reach out to us for any questions here? They can script practice with us. Anything else?
Yeah, the only thing I would just say is, my story in this, I loved doing sales, but my conversion rate did go up in what I quoted. So you mentioned like, hey, don't make it about the dollar. The dollars will follow 100%. So I would say practice the art of asking powerful questions.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Steve, for your time.
All
Thank you,
right.
everybody, for tuning in. And any questions you've got, we'll answer. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Lynn. Bye.
Bye.